Good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for having me here. It's not going to be about solutions and products that we offer. It's going to be more about people, innovation, how consumer has changed, and probably how brands are staying into this ecosystem. So the big thing here is that we know there's a lot of transformation across the world. It's not only on the automotive industry, but here in automotive is like we have maybe the biggest disruption in the last 100 years. And we see that around the world and very much into our region, which is, I can tell you that is really over-indexing in some cases what's happening globally. 4 or 5 years ago, compared to what we've been discussing within the company I work for, what happens across the world, Middle East was not coming up so much as a priority market. What happens now here has changed completely the world. And we know that brands need to be ready for that. We know that buying a car is a decision that, of course, has to do with my pocket, but it starts from my heart. So what kind of a car I want to drive, how I want to be connect to this car, what is my personality. So we don't buy cars just because we need them, although they have to be, how can I say, addressing one of our needs, but it's more about an extension of our personality. And this in this region is much, much more intense. So people on Facebook, Instagram, and all our social platforms we have, they need to be feeling like home. They need to be feeling like real. So you heard about me, and I maybe sound very serious, but actually I'm a very funny person. I'm almost in my 5th decade of my life. I do a lot of crazy stuff. I have 2 teenagers in my life, 17 and 15. They really redefine what kind of a person I am. They change me. They tell me how to make up. My daughter tells me how to put makeup on my face because she thinks I'm completely awful. But I love cooking. I love cars. I love supporting women across the world because I think we can do magic, and especially in this region. And I love shows and dancing. So this is myself. But if you knew me as a gender and an age, you would never think of selling me a sports car. You would think that I would like to drive something that can be a little bit boring because I'm almost 50. But actually, I love sports cars. Okay? So think about me and all the people you are talking to, what they like, what they want, if they're in a middle-age crisis, if they want to change some of their life, what kind of brands they like, and how they interact with their friends. So this is the kind of information and insights you can get from our platforms. Our mission is to give people the power to connect and change and open the world. However, we saw that this is not enough anymore because people need to have a voice. People need to come together in community. People need to feel that where they are and when they consume a lot of information and content is where they can actually express themselves. So we try to make communities stronger because communities take decisions that affect a lot of people together. Even here, you really die for this company, okay? I heard that you are like 50 years old as a company for Nissan and 68 years old as an overall company. Some people here are really dying for this company. It's deeply in their heart. That's a community. You need to talk to the community in the language they understand, of course as individuals, but overall, and this is where we want to be. Some of our values, you can understand what we stand for. Build social value. Whatever we do, we need to know that this builds social value as well. We're not here for the money. Money needs to help what we can offer to the people. And this is what you always also want to do. Move fast. So we've made a lot of mistakes, but we made a lot of success as well. But in our mind is that if you wait for something to be perfect, it will never be delivered on time because things are changing so much and we will see how people behave. So we need to move fast, but the same, and also be bold. So take decisions who may think that we don't have all the information, but we feel that they can take us to the next level. And you will see what I mean with some of the innovations we are working on. Be open. Hear from everyone. Every single person, every single company can give you information or a point of view that you would never think of. So in our company, we think that the person who works with the engineering, with the person who works for the management, they can really come together and exchange point of view or information. And also people who are 20-year-old with people who are 60 years old, they can really exchange information and understanding. Think what's happening with Mark Zuckerberg, who is 34 years old, and Sheryl Sandberg is 50. They are together. This is how they actually run this company. And last but not least, focus on impact. So whatever we do is not just for doing that, but for creating a change in the ecosystem we work. People are at the core of our services. Everything we offer needs to make people feel comfortable. We're just discussing about the change of the algorithm on Facebook that brings lower the original content, the content that brands organically share with people. And the reason behind that is, me as a person on Facebook and Instagram, I want to see the content from my friends, from my family. That's the initial reason I went on the platform. So I need first to see that. Brands need to come to me and understand what I stand for and promote their content to me, because otherwise if I have 10 pieces of content from brands and nothing from my friends, I will just leave this place. I will just not feel comfortable that I'm being there because I'm in a community. I will feel that I'm always being sold to something. Our community, big numbers. Globally, we're more than 2 billion people across the world out of the 7 billion people. WhatsApp and Messenger are great platforms for messaging. We saw the need for people to talk one-on-one or one-to-many, and also this is being leveraged for other services like payments over Messenger for peer-to-peer between banks or people or brands and people. Instagram has already reached the level of 800 million people. Very soon, I can tell you that this region is over-indexing when it comes to the way we use Instagram, penetration-wise, consumption-wise, and content creation. It's great what's happening, especially with Instagram stories. And the other thing I feel very proud for the company I work for is that we managed to bring 50 million more people on internet with the kind of services we provide. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. This is what we do in the Middle East UAE. These are the current numbers, which are from Q4 2017. And the key thing for that, just to remember, is that 70% are coming daily, and 95% are coming through mobile. So whenever we talk, please keep two things in mind from our side. People first, because it's not cookies, it's not pixels, it's people first. We try to recognize what people want. And mobile first. So whatever you do, try to think this small screen that's in front of me and have all my attention there. So it's mobile first always. Our 10-year roadmap, it's a little bit tricky, this slide, but I'll try to tell you what we mean. So we talk about Facebook and Instagram. Who from here has Facebook and Instagram account? If you don't have it, it's okay. Or WhatsApp or Messenger, more than happy. I should be fired if I didn't have any of those. And then on the right-hand side, you see that we have 3 areas we're working currently. Connectivity, bring more people online, because we know that access to internet means more healthy and more financially substantial ecosystems. Artificial intelligence and virtual reality. The way this works is the following. We usually start 10 years before we launch something as an ecosystem to work on that and try to identify the technology, the evolution of the technology, how it can be applied, how many people it may help. So we try to assess what this will mean. Almost in 5 years' time after we start working on that, we try to make it a product. For us, a product is something that can actually help people that are about 1 billion. If this can have access and uses for 1 billion people, this will start thinking about this scalable product. And then we try to make the ecosystem, which is what we have right now, Facebook and Instagram. The ecosystem, what it means is that it can actually create new products. So think that Messenger came from the body of Facebook. It was never a standalone service. So when we saw how people behaved on Facebook, this is how we actually designed and we brought Messenger as a standalone service. When we say we want to make the world more open and connected, what we do in order to bring people online. So we have many ways. Did you see in the initial video something like a plane? It's the Aquila. Okay, so that's the first one we launched 2 years ago, which is a solar-powered plane. Has, I think, the width of the wings like a Boeing 737, and it weighs around 400 kilos, and can actually be on air for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and consuming the energy of 3 hair dryers. So if you put 3 hair dryers together, you can actually fly Aquila for almost 2 hours. This is what we do. And what it does, it just beams down internet access to areas where we cannot have available internet. Or we work with the free basics with more than 60 countries in this world, especially the Sub-Sahara, with government and telco companies to offer free access to internet for at least 3 months in order to have access to information, education, communication, finding a job, and health information. Because when people have information and knowledge, they become better.
Wonder what it's like to use Facebook
That's
if you are not
favorite,
able to see?
And I'll tell you why.
Turn on your sound to experience it. Screen readers, like this one, read aloud what's on the screen, making Facebook accessible to the millions of people worldwide who can't see. And now Facebook's new technology can tell them what's in a photo. Friends 937, newsfeed. Lindsay Russell updated her cover photo yesterday at 10:29 p.m. This image may contain outdoor, cloud, foliage, flattened, tree. This image may contain 6 people, child, close up, like. One or more people, jewelry, smiling, 19 likes, 3 comments like.
Now I can see the picture in my head. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have been that close up. Like, now I can say it.
Oh my God, I love it. You have no idea. This is amazing.
That whole saying of pictures being worth 1,000 words, I think it's true, but unless you have somebody to describe it to you, even having like 3 words just helps flesh out all the details that I can't see.
I feel like I can fit in if there's more I can do.
I can just call my mom like, yay, I seen your picture. And she'll be like, what? She was like, how you see it? Because my phone read it to me. It's new. And I'm going to mess with my mother head so much.
So this artificial intelligence, it helps people have not some specific capabilities we all have and we find very normal to help them enjoy everyday life. So think that in a few years' time that people can take decisions in having an autonomous car and they don't even need to be able to see. So think that in a more commercialized way. Virtual reality. Has anyone tried Oculus Rift or anything like that? Okay. Did you see there was something in the on the auto show in Dubai last year? Yes. So the thing you can do here is you can actually immerse in a way you can experience things that are not here, they're not in your real surroundings, and also interact without people. This is amazing applications if you want to show elements or experiences or any kind of information that you're not able to provide physically, but you can provide virtually. Let me show you something.
Hey sis.
Hey Jack, are you all excited for our trip?
Yeah, and look what I found.
This is so cool. Is this the same spot we're going to?
I hope so. And look, I think that's where we're taking the boat tour.
Oh, I love it. Look, I'm gonna go chat with Melissa, but you're setting up the party room, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Great. See you later, Jack.
All right, see you later.
Bye. Hey girl, guess what?
What?
I got the apartment.
Wow, nice. Look at your balcony.
I know, it's amazing. No roommates. I have it all planned out. The lucky blue couch.
Yes.
This table with this floor.
Perfect. Jack keeps calling me. Can we talk later?
Sure.
Bye.
Surprise!
Happy birthday!
Thanks, you guys.
Happy
No,
birthday.
stop, don't like the song.
Okay, hold this balloon. You know we gotta do it. Birthday selfie!
Oh my God.
Don't forget your birthday hat.
That's a good one. Hey! Look at my birthday hat.
So cute.
So this is happening now. It's happening in some of the markets in US, UK, New Zealand, and it's coming to the wider region as well. But you may say, okay, Eleni, this is a little bit too far from me. However, our camera, our mobile camera is what we call is the first augmented reality device. And we already have specific features for that, like how you can get information or can identify a digital object or enhance an object you already have. Who is using Instagram stories? Or Instagram in general, or Facebook? Do you send messages where you put these nice filters where you are, the clown or the very ugly with black tears everywhere, or you wear some very funny glasses and you send? I do it all the time in the morning with my kids. So we have a group that we called, with our last name you will never understand, it's Greek. But we are all four together over there and we send messages to each other with very funny faces. And this is a way to communicate. This makes the communication to be funny, interesting, but very, very much understandable. This is great for brands as well. When you go to Instagram stories, you see that people need the sense of humor and the sense of innovation, which doesn't come only from the vehicles that you sell, but it comes also from the communication you do. And what is coming up in the future is precise location. So this is a very interesting thing. Actually, you can have a picture that you take like that. Think of a car. This could be a car to be sold. Someone writes something, but the whole system identifies the space and can make it look like a 3D. Or object recognition. So you can have here where the technology identifies the different objects and can create emoticons or different features because it identifies that and gives a second sense of what you're trying to talk about. Keep that in mind, that attention span for people is very short. Keep that. So image is very, very powerful. It has to be very powerful. And the last one is the 3D effect. I have to run it from here. So this is, I think, our office in Chicago. And what it's doing is it takes a two-dimensional picture and makes it to a 3D. Think that you have pictures of your cars and you try to make them 3D and you try to have a campaign in a carousel or a canvas and you try to tell to people how this would look like without having a high cost of production for every kind of communication you make. These are coming, but we're somewhere between the previous slide and this one where we are in a way to make communication more real to you. And I think this is a very solid point about how what you do as a communication that comes from this team, it can actually be applicable and logical and friendly to the people who are in the showroom and they sell, because you don't change your showroom people every year because habits of consumers change every year, but you need to educate them how to actually utilize these features and understand how they work. So your consumer, everyone here, is a very distracted person. We are always very living our life in a rush. Our attention span is very small. So just to give you an idea, on a daily basis, someone who uses Facebook and Instagram actually touches its phone like more than 2,500 times. And you know how much content we consume by doing this? Almost the height of the Statue of Liberty. So we try to make the average, it's like 300 feet, I would never think of that. But think of yourself, how much you use your device all the time, and you do interact with that without even thinking about that. It starts from here. So the person you're talking to, your consumer, is always distracted. So in 2000, the attention span was around 12 seconds. It came down to 8, and today it's almost 3 seconds. 3 seconds is almost nothing. We'll talk about that. 5 years ago, we'll say, it's impossible, my TVCs are 1 minute. You have to think about the shorter version. And I can tell you that in 3 seconds, you can actually generate 45% of your key brand metrics. Awareness, affinity, ad recall, even intention to buy, because emotions are coming up and people can understand what you're talking about in a very, very short time. So let me show you something. We talk about speed of feet, of how fast we run our thumb, but actually it's the speed of people. It's our brains are very fast. It's like how we exercise, like CrossFit or any kind of yoga we do. This is how we exercise our brain as well. It never stops. We always talk about millennials as an age, but I feel that everyone in this room has a millennial habit. We have a behavior of a millennial. It doesn't matter anymore how old you are. It matters how old you behave. And we need to think of that when we talk to people and we try to make the communication to them. So we always say that, I'm going to be very fast, I'm going to be back in 1 second, but it's the eternity of 1 second. So from 2001 to 2014, there was different surveys that they were trying to see how people can actually process a thought, something which is written usually. So in 2001, it took like 0.3 seconds. In 2014, it went down to 0.03. Now it's 0.013. You know why? Because you don't process anymore so much text. You process an image. And an image can tell much more things about what you want to tell. So let me do a little bit of cheap trick, if you don't mind. It's a little bit cheap, but I like it. Okay, look here. What do you see? A puppy. Okay. Did you understand the breed? Labrador. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Would you like one of those if I had like a bunch of those here? If you love the dogs. Okay. So you saw something for less than 0.013, and you already have emotions about that. Okay. You have a level of awareness. You know what this is. That it's an animal, a puppy. But you have emotions, and you even intend to get one. So think about when you talk to people about your products, then when you have built a very good level of awareness and affinity, you can talk to them in such a short time and make them want to take an action. No matter what this action is, as long as this is very clear, you can create action in a very fast way. Please read this copy. You got it? Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you something. In 1 minute, people can read 300 words. Because our focal point is here, is 500. So you actually go almost 100% more productive when you have your screen in front of you, because there's no other distraction. And this intimacy cannot change unless you're on fire. And maybe you don't know if you're on fire, but only if something goes, very wrong. So the combination of picture of images and the very close relationship with your device is what defines people. So we have identified with all the communication across the world on our platforms that usually people consume content in 3 ways. On the go, like, okay, I will talk to you, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, got it. Which is 70% of our time on a daily basis. This is how we are, unfortunately, 70% of our time. Leaning forward, so you have 5 minutes before a meeting, you sit out in the waiting area where I was waiting today, and try to read a little bit more about what's happening, a little bit of more video. So this is like 20%. When you try to create little breaks in between, so you try to breathe and you try to consume some content which is relevant to you. This needs to be relevant. And then leaning back, which can be the morning you wake up, when you go back home, when you're on vacation, we have more time, and you actually take the decision that you want to waste this time and watch things that you like for the kind of interest you have, which is 10%. So on a daily basis or following the lifestyle of someone, you need to be on those 3 different times to the people you talk to. You cannot be only here. You cannot have like 1 minute video just because you produce that and you paid a lot of money. You need to create information on the go in 6 seconds actually. Make the interest, go further and provide some more information like a carousel and giving the features of the car. And if you want to show how much advanced is the car you sell, what's technology or what is the values of the company, you can go and when they lean back and they have more time to see more info from you, but you need to build a relationship. It's actually like when people meet. You cannot fall in love just like that. You need to build it gradually. Until you get the ring, you need to have sweet moments of 5 seconds, hello baby, or a message to having a proper dinner together. That's how we build relationships. Sorry for the example if you don't like it, but my humor is not the best one. Okay, so what we do in the auto industry and what we do here. Actually, there are 3 different phases which are not linear, but they can be together. It's when we launch a product, when someone is in market already, and what do we do for our customers for life. Very quickly, so the same car is not the same for everyone. So we try to sell the car to different people, but we need to understand, except for the age and the gender, lifestyle changes. So last year I was not married, this year I'm married. Next year I'm gonna be having a kid. The year after I'm gonna be divorced. So you need to understand my life stages, what I like. Now I like yoga, then I like partying, then I like traveling. You need to know what kind of work I do. Maybe I have more money. Maybe I've changed the way I am. Maybe I relocated. So when you talk to people about the same car, but you talk to them with what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, what they're going through, this is when you make sense to them. This is when you're relevant. So a car is not the same for everyone. And this is where we can actually help you with creating audiences out of that. In-market shopper. Someone is not to buy a car when you launch a car. It can be 5 months before, 6 months after, or in a year. So what we see at the moment is that out of the whole audience or the whole population that is probably to buy a car within the year, in this 3 months period, this is what we've seen globally, it's almost 5%. So how can you identify this 5% and get them to you? So you need to get all the information from the showroom, from your website, from your mobile app, from any kind of lead generation you do on our platforms. The thing is that the moment you track all the points of contact with the people you talk to and you retarget them, this is when you can get the highest level of sales. I'll give you an example. So you run a search campaign and people are searching for the best SUV and they land into your website. We can take this piece of information and retarget this person with the kind of search keywords that he got to the page that this person landed on the website. And you create retargeting exactly for what they need. In this way, you can actually grow the opportunity to get more qualified leads for your business. And the last one is customer for life. So you have a huge database, a huge CRM from people who are buying a car for you. However, we see that a lot of other companies that are not the traditional ones for automotive, they try to build their own new car. And we see that younger generations or people who love technology, and technology is right now part of our lives, they try to tend to see this diversification, these kinds of new players. So they don't think only, when they think about the car, they don't think only about who was the car that my daddy was driving. They think about what are my opportunities right now. So in this case, you need to build the presence that you are there, so you are stable, you have all the legacy, but also you are where they want you, and you can provide all the technology and the infrastructure they want. So this is when you have your consumer, and this is not built in a 3-month campaign, this is being built along the line on an always on. I do a lot of in-showroom visits. I like that. So, and I go usually with my husband. I try to see the different approach to women and men for different kind of cars. So we go and you see that you go into the showroom and I have taken a decision. So in one case, I said, oh, this is the car I want. Yeah, oh, I love it. I went inside, I tried to see how it feels like driving. And then I said, okay, what are the colors you have? You see that? Red. You see that? Green. That's it. So I was talking about a car of 200,000. And I was almost ready. I was behaving like the stupid lady who wants to buy a new car for that. The thing is that until the moment I go into a showroom and I take this decision that I want this car, I've done a lot of search before. Or I've seen a lot of advertisement. Or I say, this brand, I love this brand because it talks to my heart. I'm the kind of person I want to be, not the kind of person I was in my 5 years previous car I had. So when I go there, you already talk to me. So the salesperson in the showroom needs to understand how to behave to people that are coming in different phases. And usually people come to the showroom right now very much knowledgeable. They know about the stuff. They may miss about some things about technological, but they don't even care about it. They've done the comparison. They talk with people. They saw advertisement. They are almost ready. So when you miss some at the showroom, I think it's a big loss. And this is where the company represents themselves. So I may get the best information and the best advertisement, but the moment I go into the showroom, I feel uncomfortable. So you have to, yes, to catch me on the go, when I'm a little bit have more time, and when I see more information, and then I go into the showroom to get the feeling, because you need to get the feeling of a new car if you have never driven this brand before. So I want to see myself driving this car because I had never driven. I don't like these drives, definitely not in this country, because you cannot actually try the car. So I want to see how I feel. Do I like the mirrors? Do I feel I'm part of that? I was discussing before, I cannot see myself in a patrol. I feel very small. So I feel like a fish in a bowl, that everyone's gonna look at me and I'm gonna be. So, but the moment you get into and you feel how comfortable you are, that's the last point. That's the cherry on the top, as they say sometimes, because you already have your top 3 or 4 cars you want to buy based on different criteria. The same applied with my husband. So we went to a showroom where 25 minutes next to a car, we were both inside, we sat next to each other, we looked at it. No one came to take our names. No one. Okay? And he was very ready to buy that car. He was in a midlife crisis. So he ended up in something. But he was in this level, he was ready to get something which was emotionally connected, because he already thought, I have the money to buy that. So the price was not the decision factor, it was what will actually make the click. And he didn't get this click. So when people come to the showroom, they need to have the same experience they have when you advertise, okay? So in these 3 phases, we have a lot of solutions we can actually provide to you: core audiences, CRM, catalogs, lookalikes, people who can actually expand and get more sales leads. And this is what we want to do. We want to create business value for you so you can actually sell cars. Because what we say is that we can sell cars with you, and we'll show you a couple of cases here. So what I was asked is to show you how, on a personal level or on a brand level, Facebook can help build your values. So who knows Jimmy Fallon? Who has watched him on TV? Okay, I've never. So actually Jimmy Fallon and all this style came into life mainly on internet and especially Facebook. So from a show that he has, which for 1 hour, he made it to be famous with a video of 2.45 minutes. Think of that. He put the whole 60 minutes in 2.45, and he made it more approachable. So from 2.5 million people, he actually got 5 times more. With this part, which is what is actually represented Jimmy Fallon show. You can start dancing, by the way. So let me show you the other guy, James Corden. I had never seen this guy before. I had never known who this guy was. He came, I started knowing him when I saw him on Facebook. Again, the same thing. From 1 hour, he went 14 minutes with his karaoke show. Do you know about the karaoke? Okay. This is the only thing I know. I've never seen him on TV, really. Okay? And from 1.3 million views, he got more than 100. Why? Because he put this key thing he had on Facebook, and he made it so approachable to everyone, and everyone had fun. So he did this one where he's with my favorite, Bruno Mars. Who knows Zach King? He's a digital native. He started from that, okay? He's doing so stupid things, but we all like stupid things when other people do that. So now when we do that. And this guy, he's going forward. He's becoming very famous. He's doing native content 6 seconds. So this 6 seconds thing actually built his legacy, what he is, and how he makes money out of that. So don't think about long videos. Don't think about very impressive things. Don't think about the pyramid. Think about doing something small, but that speaks to my heart. So Sea of Nissan Turkey. I tried to bring one thing about how we use lead generation. So they tried to promote 3 very successful SUVs, and what they did is that they actually utilized all the information they had from the website, from the CRM system they had in the company. They got all this information. They created custom audiences of people they already know they have a car. And they create lookalike audiences, so people who will be similar to them, but they are not in your database. They approach them, and then they reach 80% of the audience they wanted, exactly what they want, so how they actually identified that. And they got 21% of all sales came from online, from Facebook. The biggest thing was that it was 9 times lower the cost of making this kind of acquisition compared to all the other channels. And I don't tell you to do that and only do that, but try to see how things can change from the channels you're using already, because you're already using custom audiences and lookalike audiences and lead generation, to see how this can have an impact on specific audiences or on specific areas in this market. To buy is not all the same everywhere. Have you seen sorry, I want to go here. Have you seen the boat of Mercedes? Okay. So it didn't change the world for Mercedes, but it changed the way people think about Mercedes to the audience they are talking to. So they create a simple bot, which is, if you have tried that, it's the same information it provides all the time. So they're going to push you the same vehicles every time. But you feel they talk to you, so you talk to them, and you say, I'm interested to get a car. In how long, Eleni? Next 6 months. Okay, what kind of a car you want? This car. Have you seen this? Yes. Which one you're more interested? This. Do you want me to book a test drive for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, done. I feel it is very personal. And if you think, okay, Eleni, it's easy for car, let me show you the very boring financial services world. So this is coming from a very traditional bank in Germany. What they want to do is they want to promote their peer-to-peer payments. Difficult. So what they did was the following. They ran videos on Facebook and Instagram, and depending on how people behaved on viewing the video, they communicate with them on Messenger, on one-on-one. And what they managed to do is that they drove them then on their app they had on mobile, and they had 22% increase in their mobile app, and they created 135,000 individualized videos. So it goes from Facebook. So what they did is they didn't go to Messenger. They showed the video. Depending on how people behaved, they got the approval to message them on Messenger, and then they start communicating with Messenger, which is applicable here as well. So that's my last slide. I will leave you with one video. I would like to show you how mobile changes people and what kind of a shift it creates to people's life financially and socially. just at the beginning. Thank you very, very much.